Welcome back. Thank you very much for your time. And this is Wake Up Africa. We have the opportunity now to share with you some thoughts of our guests, especially with regards to the news making headlines here in Ghana by way of news review. Make sure to stop by our socials wherever you're going. If you can watch us live on socials, please drop your comments, your thoughts, your submissions, your questions. I will read and share with the world. You can also share a link with someone. Over here, what we do is to make sure that as much as possible, as we share our thoughts, we inspire you as well, and we bring all the angles to the issues. And so it's very holistic and it's very wholesome. And so you get everything you may need here. My guests are seated. Remember, it's a Tuesday. And so Dr. Apiakubi is, so Dr. Justice Apiakubi. This is the very first time I've mentioned the English name, Dr. Justice Apiakubi. Is that it?
Justice Christopher Castro.
No, I'm sorry. Let me just keep it to Dr. Apiakubi. He's a development expert and also...
Oh, Nanaya part one. So part one and two.
Part one. He's a development expert and also the Dean for Dominion Theological Seminary. He joins us. Thank you very much. And I must say you're looking sharp today. Or maybe the cap also and the colors.
He's looking Tinubu-ish.
Okay, yeah.
Tinubu.
Yeah. This is for the bourgeoisie, the rich man. But of course, also Reverend Anaya Bafo-Boni is an architect by profession, a senior one at that, but also pastors. The church, the Eagles Network International Ministries, and so he joins us as well. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here today.
I
don't know, sometimes I feel we are the funniest pair you have on your set. Apart from Pastor Buddy, of course.
Yeah. So that's a
Reverend Xavier is not a very funny person.
No, he's a very calm.
Like myself and
the pair is, but he's the constant.
Yeah.
The variables. He's the constant. Anyways, I'm glad that
maybe along the line, maybe the DTV can think about maybe some one holiday we send tickets and we just make a comedy this thing. People
now here Dr. Goes again.
He's commercializing.
Anyway, so there are some stories lined up for us, but before we go on, just wanted to touch base. For a lot of people who want to know what exactly is happening in the world of the court, especially with regards to the issues of the suspended Chief Justice. He's in court for she's in court for several reasons. One of them is to suspend the proceedings, of course, the sitting, and that is seeking to oust her. The other is also seeking to have it telecast live, and so it's no more in camera. The other is also to clear some committee members because of some bias that they've put out. Just yesterday, I understand that the first sitting, or I don't know whether that was the first or so.
No,
that's not the first.
That was on Thursday.
That started on Thursday?
I think so.
Okay. So I don't know why it took so much time for her to come, but she's out with some reliefs as well, or if you like, some supplementary affidavit in support of the motion for the interlocutory injunction that she sought earlier. And so amongst them, said a lot of things. So that's it on the screen. Let me just do the four. I respectfully seek leave of this honorable court to bring the court's attention various development scenes filing of the present application, which evidence is a complete desecration of my basic constitutional rights to a fair trial, violation of my dignity, and subjection to inhuman and degrading treatment of a kind or not meted out to even accused person on trial for treason and other offenses against the state. That I was informed by my lawyer, Kwabena Dukusi Esquire, the proceedings of the committee set up by the president to inquire into the 3 petitions filed against me had been adjourned to a day after the commencement of our action in the Honorable Court, i.e. 22nd May 2025. And so it goes on and on and on and on, even the issues of, so it's about some 15 points and all of that. So these are supplementary affidavits. I just wanted to pick your thoughts on it. So I'm thinking that why would you subject yourself to the the sitting or the proceeding if you have sought, if you have placed an interlocutory injunction in the first place. So the sitting is ongoing and there are supplementary affidavits and all of that.
Yeah.
As much as it's law, it's a bit confusing as well.
Yeah, first and foremost, sometime, at least personally, sometime the former Chief Justice is making some of us feel,
The suspended Chief Justice.
I was the suspended. Make some of us feel like the support we were giving to her initially is not worth. That's my feeling, though.
She has the right, though.
Yes, but maybe because I'm not a lawyer, sometimes I'm feeling like she's delaying the thing unnecessarily.
Right.
Because if you really believe that we will win the case, let some things flow.
Right.
You keep on bringing this up and down, and if it delays, and remember in Ghana, we have a short memory. The more things get delayed, the more we say, hey, please, let's move on. And you'll be thrown aside. And so this thing will bring this and bring that. One thing that I like, though, is the fact that he wants the thing to be something that everybody can watch. I like it because, of course, we all want to just get the excitement of. I remember I came to love Atuguba because of some of these things. So maybe I might be able to be loving somebody's uncle because of this. Who knows? So that is the hardest.
Well, if you are referring to that uncle, he's not on the panel. Actually, he's not on the committee.
Oh, then they should bring him.
That's mischief. Ignore the mischief. Ignore the mischief.
No.
Doc is trying to do mischief. Ignore the.
They should bring him.
But your thoughts? I mean,
he has justice in his name.
I know. So they'll serve justice, right?
Well, Foku, I mean, first to address the issue of the confusion that you are talking about. Seeking an injunction does not preclude or abort the process. Both are two mutually exclusive events. It is only upon a hearing and a granting of that injunction that the process that has been started by the President's Committee can be halted or even aborted altogether. So in the interim, that injunction is being sought, she must subject herself to the process, which I think that she's doing. For me, if you ask me, I think that the public legal tussle that our suspended Chief Justice is using, I mean, to all intents and purposes, if even this committee should discharge her, I can't see how she would possibly go back and head that institution, because I think even if the presidency has erred in this process, she is rather denigrating and bringing the judiciary into greater disrepute. Because if you have presided over this thing and you trusted that it was doing right, and it is colleagues and even senior colleagues for that matter who are going to sit on this matter, and you had confidence in that justice system you were presiding over, I think it should be so easy for you to subject yourself to the process. So that's the first thing. Secondly, to be confident that no matter the outcome, if you are not satisfied, that system you had confidence in presiding over will give you justice if you go seeking for redress. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's a very clear case of how we say in our Twi language that the one who beheads people always is afraid to sleep lying on his back because it exposes his vulnerability. Other than that, I really do not get the reason for this great level of discomfort that is being exercised by our Chief Justice. Also, to address the issue of, I think some people were making some noise about Godfred Dame representing the Chief Justice. It depends on how you are looking at it, because as it stands now, he's a private legal practitioner. He's no longer the Attorney General, and therefore he has right to take any case that comes to his table which he deems fit and has a conviction that the client involved will be well represented by him. So I think that is neither here nor there. But it looks like in this writ, a new lawyer has been mentioned. So perhaps the Chief Justice also has made amendments to that effect to choose maybe a different lawyer, or maybe this particular lawyer is part of the larger legal team. But I think that let justice be served. Let the case for injunction run, and let the hearing also ran. I completely disagree with those who say that it should be moved from in camera to a public discourse. There is a reason why the framers of the Constitution stated that, there are certain positions when you occupy, like the Minister of Defense. There's a reason why a Minister of Defense vetting it doesn't pry too much into certain details like other people. There's a reason why their budgets are not made public. When somebody is in a position where they can be potentially president to act, like the Speaker of Parliament, like the Chief Justice, like the Vice President, there's a certain level of briefing that they have that borders on national security issues. In fact, that's one of my biggest headaches, even with the case involving the National Signals Bureau boss, what's his name, Mr. Edubuahene, because the little that he put out there, if we are any serious country, we would like to keep things under wraps going forward concerning this case. Not to say that he should be treated with kids' gloves, but he has access to things that should not be for public consumption because it undermines our national security, our safety, and even our respect in the eyes of the global community. So I think that it will not be good. Can you imagine if this thing is not in camera and there are things that concerns even our current president? Maybe there are some phone calls that went in between, which is not in any of these written statements, and then, suspended Chief Justice brings them up. Even the CCTV footage, that has nothing even to do with the trial. Look how it is being treated. Somebody's private engagement in a public place, so you can imagine some of these sensitive issues being thrown about and all that. I think that it will not augur well for our country. So there's a good reason. I think it's because of the stature of the person involved. That is why these things were brought up. Of course, some sensitive questions will be dealt with. Some very sensitive issues will be dealt with. There may even be some footages that may have to do with, excuse me to say, even somebody's infidelity, which may need to be tended
looks like
in.
He knows some.
No. I don't know. But what I'm saying, that some of these things happen.
Very sensitive.
For example, somebody decides that even you, we caught you doing A, B, C, D things, which are unethical.
Yes.
And here is the footage, and the person is in a very compromising situation or position, and we have to put all that out there. I don't think it's the best, So you look at the person's stature, and then whatever. So I think those calling for that, I can understand, because it will seem to give a certain sense of openness, certain sense of fairness and all that. But I don't think that in this particular instance, it will be good, especially for our acting Chief Justice. I only feel that suspended Chief Justice. I only feel that the combative and very confrontational engagements that are happening in the legal space, I would struggle to go back to office if I'm discharged and acquitted if I were in her place. I really, because it doesn't lie within her power to quote unquote sack judges or appoint judges. She can only place a request through certain channels. The presidency with Ghana Legal Council will sit down with Council of State and look at potential candidates and all that. So then you're going to work with all this. It's a little too funny, I must say.
Yeah, but I wanted to say this though.
Okay,
that,
right.
First, it looks like the woman herself, or at least her lawyers, are the one who is now pushing for the thing to be shown on camera.
No, you cannot see without.
What I'm saying is that
even
a lawyer
consulting
will act on the instruction of the client, not. Lawyers do not act independently.
So they want for us to see.
No, she wants
it
to be
okay,
seen.
through the lawyer.
Yeah, and so if we are saying this to protect, maybe you are not just protecting her image.
That's what I'm saying.
Every other member.
Yeah, because you mentioned something about this thing that I came in right away with regards to some compromising, maybe some sexual, which
not necessarily even sexual, but compromising.
But actually,
things that may not augur well.
No, but even the sexual thing, allegedly there's something like that actually.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
That one is one. When I was talking about this like 6 months ago or something like that. Right. That was one of the things that I was told.
Okay.
I thought that you knew. Actually.
I want us to bring the faith angle before we finish. You see, so we have been giving a lot of these people who, so if you look at Mr. Eduboy, who of course was videoed to be in a church, preaching, has got some, positions. And so the church came under immense attack as well. There's also, I understand she's also, the suspended Chief Justice is also...
a preacher.
No, she's not.
Not a preacher, but also...
She's not. She only had an opportunity to... Let's say like President Mahama had an opportunity to share during the men's fellowship.
It's not true. You know why?
But she's
Because
not a preacher.
before she shared, the coalition knew that he got opportunity from time to time to preaching. And I'm be more specific, ICGC, the one as
so the point for me...
I understand. What I'm saying is that...
Might not be ordained.
He's not ordained.
Exactly, because our president even preached recently at Easter. And from time to time, he's preached at the men's fellowship.
Oh, okay.
Meeting. So that's what I'm saying, that we should be very careful, because if we say someone said, I am a preacher, I did that this Sunday, I did that the Sunday before, that's my way.
You are an ordained preacher.
No, not necessarily. You don't need to be ordained. Because,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Because there are lay ministers
who do that.
And then they are ordained.
So he's a lay.
No, she's not at all a minister.
Okay, but I just want us to...
I mean, from my search, that's what I know.
The faith angle. So the caution, I think we have to caution ourselves again. I'm not saying that these people are guilty until otherwise proven guilty. The caution to stay, without perpetuating some of these things, to find ourselves in these and all of that and all. So let me start with the
Yeah, so like, for example, as I was saying, for the coalition, the National Coalition of Proper Human Ancestral Rights and Family Values, we knew, or we've been told because the organization is really big, and Ghana Pentecostal Council, Ghana Charismatic, whatever, Catholic Bishop Conference. So when some of these things comes up, of course, it makes us believe, at least for some of you small boys, and that she's a person that gets opportunity to speak in the church. And that, so Rev is actually making it like, hey, the fact that you get an opportunity to do this and that doesn't necessarily mean, which I agree on that aspect. But just like you are saying, when immediately you stand behind that sacred box, charismatic, sometimes we take some things for granted. If you go to the Methodists, the Anglican, they have a certain box that you go in to preach. People think that it is just there. But actually, theologically, this is how they made it. They designed it like the witness box in the court. So when you are standing in, you are a witness of Christ. You are
under oath.
You are under oath, something like that. Okay, and so then you talk about the Dubois one. It can go so, but sometimes, I also think that it's not fair to us Christians. Well, it's because the Ghana and the world has given us a higher standard, so we understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have these Muslims also, a lot of Muslims also who actually are also politicians who come up, we hear one or two things about them, and it doesn't become a big deal. But when the church or a Christian, something like that comes, hey, then they blow it.
We're the
And
lights
it's
of the
because,
world.
and one of the main reasons is actually because if you attack a Christian, if you can get your fellow Christian to join you attacking that person, but you dare not attack a Muslim, they will come after you. You see, and so that's one of the things that, so it makes it like, hey, be careful. The kind of calling, like what my father would tell me, he said, "Yow," in Tree, but I'll say it in English, "Yow, the profession that you have taken upon yourself, it's a profession and a calling that you cannot do things like other people. It's like a pregnant woman. You don't behave like any other ordinary woman." And my father at that time wasn't even a Christian. Then now he is. And I'm like, wow, this advice is very good. So what you are saying is really, really...
the standards must be high. If you project yours as the only one that through... the standards must be high.
The thing is that when I speak from a place of a pastor, I may not be in complete agreement with your position.
Which one?
And
Exactly.
if
The
I
standards.
speak, yes, and if I speak from the place of a social commentator, I'll be completely in agreement with what you say. You see, from a pastoral perspective, you need to understand that everybody in the church is at a different space on their spiritual journey. And so somebody being in church for a long time does not mean that they are treated. Like somebody who says some patients are not responding to treatment. Others are making slight progress and responding to treatment, whilst others are really responding to treatment. Sometimes even the sickest person in the church is the pastor.
Spiritual cancer.
You know, very temperamental. I know pastor temperamental. They will insult you, they will curse you, they will abuse you at the least provocation. Because a certain aspect of their persona, they didn't allow to be surrendered to the Holy Spirit. Another mistake we also make as clergymen is that we misunderstand academic achievements as qualifying somebody to be able to do scriptural exposition. Having gone to the theological seminary myself, I've come to see that that's the biggest mistake we make. The Bible is not an English book. It's a book in original Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, and if you don't have training in the languages, you don't have training in biblical interpretation, at best you can do some one or two exhortation. But to really do it in an impactful way, I'm telling you, training is a must. And oftentimes, that's what we do. We get very excited that we have people of high academic and social caliber in our church, that when they show a little bit of commitment, we want to push them into the forefront to let everybody know that even if Judge so and so, Dr. so and so with his whatever, branch manager of Stanchart, you know, is a chief usher here, you should know as Mr. JHS dropout that you are even a privileged person to be part of the pastoral team. It's a good thing to brand and to market, to get the masses and other bourgeois in the church who are laid back to join the workforce, to sacrifice and to push the work. But I think that we should never forget 1 Timothy 3. All the requirements of a pastor, apart from the one that says up to teach, an ability to teach, everything there is about character.
I see.
Everything. And we must start to be very serious about having that filtration system. Whether we like it or not, being a human institution, some will definitely leak through the filtration system. But if we are firm on that, you see, but oftentimes we overlook that because in trying to tell somebody, can you make good your marriage? Can you treat your spouse better? You get what I'm saying? Because I'm told someone like the late Osinachi's husband was a pastor in the church or was holding some sort of pastoral or shepherdorial position in the church. It is something a person's influence, the clouds, some tithe they pay, so don't worry, we are working on, he will change. And then we unleash them. And then in the end, out of their influence outside the church, they import disgrace. That is not even church-based.
I see.
It's external, and then it is posted now. Oh, look at so and so. He works with Reverend so and so. I mean, I have seen. I remember way back in the, I think early 90s, there were a few people that were, if I remember, they had some drug-related scandals, and some of them were attending church here in action. And Papa was under great attack at that time. That he's in connivance with these people. And that time, it was one of the few people that were driving Benzes, and they were showing that the charismatic ministry can be done and you can prosper in it. And people were now beginning to let it look like his wealth is being financed by these things. Meanwhile, it was nothing like that. And over time, as he's transitioning through the time period, he has stood out. He has gone through the furnace, and he has stood out. And what we'll call the dross or the debris has all washed out for us to see. So it's difficult. Even it's the same with our politicians. Look at Namwan. He took pictures with Catherine Afeku. He was in Flagstaff House, and he brought credibility to what he was doing. People who were doubting were going there to invest because we've seen ABCD person with clout. And they fell through. So sometimes people even come to church, they weave their way into leadership to leverage the credibility of the leadership by putting them on boards and in advisory positions in their company. Oh, wow, Dr. Otabil is on the board. Wow, Archbishop is on the board. Oh, wow, Ajinasar is on the board. I told you about somebody who built an estate in Ghana here and actually named the streets after these men. Oh, Steve Mensah Avenue. Ajinasari
I've
close.
been in a hotel.
Yeah,
all the
and
names
it is
are
that.
the bishops. All the names.
Exactly. And people go there buying because they actually think that these men of God have given endorsement. My sister bought a place, a house in such a place, and by the grace of God, she didn't even get a plot of land. Over 110,000 USD. Gone like that, So all sorts of characters come in. So I plead with the clergy. It's when you struggle hard and you get one even district court judge in your church, I tell you it's a big deal. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. To get one banker, not even the branch manager, one banker. He wanted to do the announcement. This is impeccable English, so that it will draw in. And, but they come with their baggage. So let's focus on discipleship and character transformation.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we'll get far.
Even if we were to end it this way, it's for me enough. That's where I want people to be learning from. But let's talk Galamsey. Chairman Wontumi granted bail with two sureties. We spoke about that. Then also police arrested about some 17 suspects in Samramboy anti-Galamsey operation. 7 of them Chinese nationals, 10 of them are Ghanaians. They were arrested on May 25th, so that's yesterday, in the ongoing anti-Galamsey operations in the area. So let me start off with you. A lot of people, including the Coalition Against Illegal Mining, headed by of course, championed by a lot of people, including Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, have called that they've bemoaned the if you like, the conditions surrounding, Chairman Wontumi felt that by this time he should be behind bars because of the evidence.
I think if they say like that, they are not fair to me.
Why?
Of course, there must be. Nobody wants Wontumi to be in prison, I can say, more than me. Okay. Because, nevertheless, let the process take its course.
Right.
Now, we shouldn't rush because, remember, there's no a wrong way to do a right thing.
Right.
You see, and there's no a right way to do a wrong thing. So I really think that they shouldn't rush. They should let the legal steps take its course one after another. For Wontumi, sometime yesterday, when they were talking about all these things, I'm in my car, I'm like, Wontumi have to go to jail. That's what I was saying. But I keep on hearing something that is in tree. I don't know how to say it. It's like agroni and Kenny, which I'll say agree. It's like when they are not making the noise behind you, you think it's this thing. Even if it's so, I like justice. Even if you are the one who have done even worse than this, you still want the process. So please let the process take its course. Yes, so all those people who are saying that, yes, I'm just praying and hoping that they will be very unrelenting in seeing to it that some of these people who allegedly had messed Ghana up with what they've done, really, not just only retrieve the things that belongs to us, but also put them to a very nice place where they will not be able to go anywhere and eat what the things they don't want to eat.
Right.
In prison.
Yeah.
Okay, so that.
So how about the nationals? And of course, I don't know whether the rule, the convention, the law, whatever it is, still stands that the nationals, foreign nationals, would be deported.
Well, Koku, sorry.
No, I wanted to pick the thoughts on.
Okay. Yeah, for that one is one of the most disappointing statements anytime I hear. Some of us, especially with these Chinese and Asians, I am called Black Asian.
Right.
So from Korea, China, Philippines, Malaysia, Laos, whatever. You can't be in any of these countries, Myanmar or Laos or Cambodia. You will rot there. For us, we are so strict on our own people. But the foreigners, they come and we just allow them to do whatever, and when anything happens, we deport them. How disgraceful is that? They won't even take us serious. So I really think that, to me, it's even other way around. Because how I would treat my biological child is different from how you treat even somebody else. Yes, you are strict on your child in the area of prevention. But when it comes to the area of punishment, you have to be very careful about this thing.
it.
And we need and again, look at how Donald Trump is doing for America now. So let's learn something. For me, whoever brought that thing, I think it was Muntaka.
Well, it might not necessarily be just him.
Yeah, no, he said it from his own mouth.
No, this should be conversation.
Yeah, no, but well, we are hearing from his mouth. We didn't hear from him anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I mean, with the Wontumi case, I would say that yesterday when he was granted bail, he was very emphatic that he doesn't do illegal mining. He standard in his documents to show that he's a licensed miner. He has also said emphatically that the forest reserve that is being tagged to him, he had once applied for it. He was denied and was told it was under the jurisdiction of Forestry Commission. And so he is not the one mining there, and he has never entered any reserve. I always see justice like a boxing match. Before the match, everybody is quite confident. They'll tell you, you won't go beyond round 3. This guy says, oh, I'll pet you and I'll knock you in round 8. But when the bell rings, then we get to know who is Amaga. So I think the legal game has begun. I'm told he's coming to the CID headquarters this morning. He's been summoned there. I think that charges and everything will be pressed officially. And let's see how everything pans out. Because, at least with the record of our special prosecutor and other prosecutions carried out by our Attorney General, I've come to see that sometimes for the sake of politics, we make a lot of noise. Then in the end, the people they just walk free. Either because we present a very weak case, or we made too much noise too early in the public domain that evidence and stuff was very well concealed. So it wasn't like even the person wasn't guilty, but they were able to shred things and get things like what happened with the American thing about Mrs. Clinton, that she had shredded things and crashed some emails and so on and so forth, even though supposedly an illegality had been carried out. So sometimes we make too much noise too early, So let's see how it pans out. But of course, I'm sure that the government is also earnestly looking for some people to scapegoat, especially those who seem to have political clout, were untouchables, and seem to make a lot of inflammatory comments and all that. And I think that Wontumi falls very squarely into that hole. I think he has plunged himself there, I must say. And if he was a student of history, he would have learned from Kennedy Japan. I remember those days. He also made some defamatory comments. It was JM that was in power. And I think when he was being taken to the BNI office, he was now requesting for his medication because he had remembered he was a sick man. So let's hope and pray. History has a nice way of repeating itself. So let's watch how it pans out. And it's important for us to note that this deportation thing is actually contrary to what is in our laws. So I think that what Honorable Muntaka had said was something that had been discussed at cabinet. So it's not something that is law per se. So what it actually means is that somebody can challenge it, because what has been approved in Parliament does not have a leave room as a deportation being the official stance of the government. People must face the law here and then be dealt with accordingly. So I think that this is more of like a revised position that has come from the government since it took office, which has been communicated verbally. So until something like that is ratified in Parliament to overrule what is existing on the statute books, this is something that I believe has been agreed government to government.
There are two things. One is the issue of once we become a minister, you hold a ministerial position. Anything you say becomes sort of policy.
Yes,
right?
but
and also the question about whether or not people who have been arrested previously have then been deported, for which we might want to wait for ratification or any other legislation to firm up what has been discussed in cabinet.
Yes.
So these questions.
But what I'm saying is that when you see, like today, yesterday, cabinet had decided that certain state institutions should be exempt from paying electricity and water, for example. It is not in our statute books.
Yes.
So when Parliament reconvenes, these things have to be sent in there for it to become effective.
Right.
Is the reason why, for example, when the VAT was scrapped by finance minister in his budget statement, it was not until Parliament had ratified that it came to become effective and law for that matter. So it's the same thing with this deportation issue. And what I'm saying is that private citizens can test the law, because if this is an agreement we have come to which is not yet ratified and is being practiced, it can be challenged. And I personally feel that it's a major incentive for foreigners to come and misbehave. To all intents and purposes. I know with the Aisha Wang situation that she was deported, that it was a little bit complex. That is why that happened. But if you watched, when she came in the second time, the deportation rule was not applied and she was sentenced, because I was told that some senior officials, this is hearsay, I may be wrong, had been compromised. They had videos, because these guys came in, offering this Thai massage and this masseuse services, and some of our big men had patronized. Little did they know CCTV cameras were there, and they had gone into happy endings, and so some of them were in compromising situations. So they felt it was like, look, let's have a batter and let bygones be bygones. But when some of these guys transition from positions of influence, the government could now flex its muscles and then deal with certain things. So I believe strongly that if we go by the deportation route, considering also the porous nature of our borders, Aisha Wang was sent out and she wove her way back in. So we are not really solving the problem.
I see. The Ghanaian embassy in Washington, D.C., USA, will be closed for a few days from Monday, 26th May, 2025, as part of restructuring and systems overhaul after uncovering a major corruption scandal. This is what he had to say, of course, reading on one of the X pages, the X page of the foreign minister. I quote, "The embassy shall be closed for a few days as we finalize the ongoing restructuring systems overhaul." He said, he added that the audit aims to, of course, they were going to undertake some audit, and it aims at determining the total cost of the elaborate fraudulent scheme perpetrated over several years. The investigation uncovered that a local staff member, Mr. Fred Quating, had created an unauthorized link on the embassy website, diverting applicants to his company where illegal fees were charged. These fees, which were not approved under the Fees and Charges Act, ranged from $29.75 to $60 per applicant, according to a Blackwell statement.
Yeah, yesterday I was listening to Kofi Tonto. Are you listening?
Yes, I did. I did
yeah, there are a lot of things that I agreed with him, actually, but there are some where I agree with him. Let me talk about the way I didn't agree with him.
Okay.
That he was saying that what Kujeta Blakwa is doing, it's not the right way. I'm wondering what will really be the right way, because he was saying that he has put the thing on the social media and he's become too much. We live in the world whereby everything will still go on social media anyway. What we are talking about now is it not going to social media. It's Kujeta Blakwa have done the thing privately. You still have to announce it to Ghana government. Announce it to Ghana government, media will pick it. It still will go anyway. So for that one, it's neither here nor there. But I was where how detailed he gave the whole thing, a show of the fact that some of these things, and I know a little bit, especially when I was outside, that sometimes, and also even my relationship with some of the foreign embassies or something here, sometimes the politicians themselves don't really know much what goes on, because some of these guys, they have been in the system, they have been there for very long, they know in and out of everything. And so we who have come by the government or the politicians, Masa, sit down somewhere, cry, and they do. I remember a time that I needed, now thank God for the modern distance, somewhere in the 90s, my passport, it makes me look very old, man. That's why I said I am Nanaya one and he's an older one. Okay, somewhere in the 90s, my passport has expired. I was outside the country, and I needed another passport, and the closest was Malaysia. Charlie, the thing you go to and the money you would waste. And you come to find out actually that the obos or the big guys there crying, they don't know much. They have created themselves some Goro boys and Goro girls in there. You think it's just only here in Ghana? No, they take it everywhere. Yeah, and so that is one of the main reasons why I love the idea the coup d'etat rocks, everybody goes. So what Kofi Tonto said that no, it shouldn't sack anyone. No, Master, all of them they should go. The Bible says purge out the little foxes, but this one they kick everybody out and bring the rest out.
This is where I hold divergent view. The politician who is this gentleman you are mentioning, who uncovered same rods, says that, oh, we are only arrowheads and we are politicians. These are civil servants. It's established and we cannot do anything about it. Is a black or a civil servant or a politician?
But a black
So the point is that, you see, that is why it is just about microphone and camera placed on you, and you feel you have the power to speak anyhow. You, the politician, uncovered the same rot because the way you were able to give the account, meaning that you saw it, but you did not have the guts to do whatever.
No, but that one is not true. Number one.
Why is the man
Number one,
there?
Kofi Tonto doesn't have the power to do what a Black is doing.
No, I'm saying.
I'm coming on. Number one, he doesn't have the power to do what a Black is doing because he wasn't a minister.
Right.
Number two, he really did something. And when it...
What's the result?
Yeah, of course.
The result is that the man was still there, still doing the thing
So the question,
under his nose.
The question is why he couldn't achieve much.
So the point for me, Reverend, is that people who do not have power, and that's what we do in this world. So it's to an extent that I might want to critique your work. Until such a time where I have the power to do it, I'm not saying that if I don't have the power as you have, I might not want to speak. But if you hear the gentleman's account, as though he had the power, but because of politics and they are civil servants, nothing was done. I thought that was very unfortunate because it's the same.
But did you listen?
Unfortunately, I have.
You've not, so he might not.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. Then if you say like that, then Koku, you are a little bit unfair to Kofi Tonto.
As he's unfair to the minister as well by calling him to order to say what he is doing is wrong.
No,
you agree to that one?
No, I agree with that one.
Right.
No. That's why I started by saying that.
You see, the thing is that, well, in my opinion, I think uncovering the rot that's Honorable Minister set out to do is a very good thing.
Great.
And trying to stop the rot is a very good thing. But sometimes it's an issue of approach.
Okay.
You see, because you should not be seen to be doing the right thing in a way that can have ramifications that also are not very positive. So short of proposing a better way to go about this, but this is the major consulate. I think there's a secondary one, I'm told, in New York also. Right.
Which a lot of people have also
so the kind of image is sent out there. On the flip side, yes, Ghana is fighting corruption, is a good thing. But on the other hand, it also sends a kind of message, that even at such an international and global level, we are such a very corrupt people. So I believe, perhaps I'm sure the closure was to see the degree of how people have been compromised and how deep the rot has gone and so on and so forth, and to weed it out. I believe that certain other functions of the because from the social commentary I've listened to, beyond just visas and passports, the consulate does other things like catering to the needs of students that are on scholarship, international. And recently they even threatened to demonstrate and all that. Which officer or group of officers will be able to do this liaison work to hold the fort in moments like this? So I think that the place that should have been dealt with decisively and quickly was where the rot was discovered. Some of these auxiliary functions should have been allowed to run, and then it is overhauled gradually in a
those
seamless.
functions are the one that are the one doing really the evil thing.
No. The information put out by the minister is quite clear where the rot has been discovered.
Okay.
You understand? I believe the closure is to interrogate to see how widespread the cancer is. You see, because in terms of some of this PR work, engaging with student bodies, and attending to other things that are not directly related to travel, there should have been a sort of interim or stopgap, group there that would hold the fort in the interim, so that we don't have a complete shutdown as it is. Because in terms of diplomatic space, it is not really the best way to go. You normally find this sort of thing happening when there are actually hostile relationships, and an embassy needs to really shut down and leave a country because of hostility that is going on. And I can understand that there's a certain level of gravity and urgency that the minister is trying to bring to the table. But, we all learn from hindsight. I mean, and I'm not disrespecting any country, but America of all places, it would put us in a certain limelight in a way that we all would not like. But let's say, I'm very sorry that I have to use an example. Like if, let's say, it was our consulate in, let's say, Sierra Leone, I don't think that there will be so much noise out there, or maybe our consulate in Niger or something.
Why not?
No, because the thing is that in terms of our volume of business we do, and the volume of travel we do, and students we have there, and our citizens we have there, and all that, the quantum of pressure and level of exposure is not about the same. So I think that some of these overhauls, when they are critical institutions like this, we have to be able to do it in such a way that there are no vacuums like this of complete closure.
International best practice, or this just image-wise? Because if it is anything to go by, President Trump, if America is the America we know, has done this in draconian ways.
I have seen America do that when they have hostile relationship with someone.
Exactly.
But not when they discover corruption in a place.
Even when it brings about, if it has potential to bring about any rule.
You see, like for example,
because I've also heard people.
You see, like for example, with the USAID thing. Recently, I had reporters asking President Trump that what about places where dire needs are? For example, they need antiretrovirals that are going to USAID. He said they can make a case. How do they make a case? There's an office in Marco Rubio's office as Secretary of State. That, you see, so there is no vacuum in terms of diplomatic dealings. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That as it stands now, if anybody wants to transact anything with Ghana, bar the office in New York, there's a vacuum. That's what I'm saying. That if we have announced that, well, there's a closure, but in the interim, this address with person X will represent our interests until such a time that we've announced. Because, you see, I can understand sometimes the agency want to stamp out the corruption and the energy is there. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is with the benefit of hindsight. Because sometimes there's a certain level of corruption you see, the shock and the anger, hey, come along the place. We all do that even as leaders. Sometimes some instrumentalist, somebody misbehaves, hey, come on, sack him from the church. The choir is dissolved. Then you arrive on Sunday, like the service now, shut down Kuyi. So I said, listen, okay, well, let's take these two soloists. You'll just do a solo before I preach. But you see, you could have done that without letting the whole service look like a Sahara desert. That's what I'm saying, that with the benefit of hindsight, because our minister is young, he did a good job trying to consult a lot of the old guys in the system, Ambassador D.K. Osei on the other side, Dr. Beho. I mean, we did all the work that he could do to get whatever. So we should encourage him. I mean, it's a very bold thing to do, what he has done, to really go into this sort of thing. I mean, like Doc said, sometimes if you're not careful, some of these civil servants can, excuse to say, they can unalive you.
Oh, I tell you.
Because there are people who sit there, they never touch their salary. They don't even know whether there's a salary increase or decrease. They are not interested in any negotiation to increase salary, because how they are sorting themselves out is fantabulous. I know roads in my community. I know roads in my community, for example. that are constantly being graded when the solution is to make drains and fix them.
That's right.
I went to find out from the assembly, and I was told that, Charlie, this is somebody's pet project.
That's right.
Yeah, when you were saying something, I just wanted to chip in. I know one of the guys, he was saying, I said, Doc, for about 6 months, I never went to bank to check my salary.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They are making so much. And you are in a foreign country. You need the thing so badly. So when the guy says $400,
you don't have a choice.
You don't.
You don't have a choice.
They are mafias. So seriously, they are mafias.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, so for me, up to now, I still think that whatever it is, it will still give us a bad image. So for Kudata Black was sacking the guy, Charlie, all of you.
No. I am not concerned so much about the image, actually, because that's why I said the image has a plus and a minus.
Yes.
A plus that we are fighting corruption.
Yeah,
the minus is that these guys are very corrupt. When you are going there, be careful. I know these Americans and Europeans, they are very funny. What falls into their head first? The Asians are a bit like us. I've heard about, I want to go and try. But the Americans like, hey, the guys live on trees. And look, they believe it to a hilt.
Yes.
They actually believe that we are on trees. So when they come, they see you in a walled house, you have a car, you work in an office with glass, like, wow, man, we're coming back to the motherland.
Yeah.
You don't hear them all the time.
No, don't do that.
They're coming back to the motherland because, it's true, you see, because...
Some of them.
Yes, of course. It's always some of them.
You'll be amazed that if you are looking at, I've not done any empirical research, but if you are looking at it in terms of the numbers, those who think that we are in the majority. In fact, there's a small channel I watch on Twitter. It's called PragerU, right? And they normally will go to the campuses and interview people. And they'll ask somebody, so have you been to Ghana? Oh, yeah, Guyana, man. It's like their view of us. Somebody will tell you, you know what? I hear you're going to Africa, man. I've got a friend in Kenya. Can you give something to him for me?
They think that Africa is a country.
Yeah, they think that Ghana and Kenya is like, here in Abosukai. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm serious.
It's true.
As much as
you see.
Wait. Oh, no, wait.
We are not ambushing you. My wife worked with Delta Airlines for years. You'll be amazed.
I'm saying that I get to hear all of these things. And it's not also okay to say that. It's not also, if you look at the states in the United States of America, right? If somebody is also going to, let's say, Washington, D.C., and you mention a state that is way somewhere, and so, I have a friend there. Is it okay to... I've also heard Ghanaians also say this.
Yes.
So I'm saying just that.
Yes, because most Ghanaians actually think, and I'm saying this on authority of my wife working at Delta, most Ghanaians actually think that America's states are like our regions.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
So no, what I'm not disputing what you're saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is people have come to my wife's office back in the day when she was there. It's like, I'm traveling to the US. Well, so... Make America, baby. I was like, oh, there's New York, there's New Jersey, there's this. Oh no, from Kumasi, and then they start laughing because the person is very myopic in their understanding of America.
It's ignorance that brings it about. So
for
me, for Americans, Sarah Palin, who is the vice presidential candidate, thought that Africa is a country and thought that he can stand in her house and see Russia.
You even watch
the United States of America a country.
No, you see, the thing is, Koku, normally
it's a country.
Why can't we have a country as Africa? As well. United States of Africa.
It can happen in future, perhaps. But even when their politicians speak, you hear them say things like, "Oh, we have investments in Mexico, in Germany, and also in Africa."
Even Joe Biden used to say that.
Even Trump even does so. They always say in Africa, in Africa.
It means they have been calling for the.
No, not exactly. It's just a historical thing.
Right.
You understand? Right. It's a historical thing that I don't fault them. What I'm saying is that there is a way they are wired in their part of the world where they treat such information with maybe a little bit too seriously. Right. If I were going to the US and I've been told, well, they shoot people in the streets and all, I have relatives there. Our people go there more often. So it's easier for us to get information back to know that the shooting is not happening just about everywhere. You may go to Maine and realize that in the whole year, nobody has been shot, for example. But they don't have as much people here sending that information to them that, listen, the guys are not on trees. They're actually in skyscrapers on the 17th floor, 18th floor, and so on. So I can understand. I think that if every minister will be up and on top of their job like Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, one of the things that will strengthen our cedis against the dollar is such wastage like this. So everybody should be up and doing. But I think that we should be broad in our outlook in how the decisions come out, so that some of these vacuums are not left, so that we can still be efficient.
Right.
But I'm all for it. I'm all for suspending,
especially with
the
reference Doc was making to the gentleman who was talking about it, who said that the issue is established, like deeply rooted. So it's not just the gentleman. According to the account he gave, he said the gentleman came to him and said, it's not just him.
So weeding everybody out perhaps may be the solution.
The overhaul.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm saying that. Why do you shout at the minister for doing what he did? And you said the problem is deeply rooted. So what do we do? Just take the consular services on?
No, not exactly, but I believe that I'm talking about the stopgap place where
maybe there are calls. Maybe he didn't put it here. What he would have done
there should be people who can still run. Because if you say it's closed, it means there isn't anyone.
So what he would have done was to put numbers out there that you can call for assistance.
That's what
in
I'm
the
saying.
Interim.
Exactly.
That's what I was.
The fact is that the cylinder gasket is destroyed. We need to overhaul the engine.
Or buy a new car.
Or buy a new car altogether.
Well, that's it. Minister, understanding, of course, I've also read some comments. I don't know how far that is true. But it's alleged that places like New York as well also has the same system.
The whole world.
So please, if you can, let's do this one overhaul after the other. But put numbers in the interim, quickly overhaul, let them come. Let the Auditor General audit them. If people have to go to jail, let's serve justice. Let's get our monies back, most importantly. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Dr. Apiakubi is a development expert, is a dean for Dominion Theological Seminary. Of course, Reverend and
I forbid you from reading law.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll become a prosecutor. Hey,
so, ladies and gentlemen, let me just issue this. I might not make any money out of law because one thing I'm just going to be doing
pro bono, social justice.
We'll take a break at this point. When we come back, there's more. Remember that we're going to be talking your health. Biadala has something very exciting to talk to you about. You need this knowledge so you don't stay ignorant as some of us are, so we can help ourselves, right? Stay with us.